Hey everybody, it's Brian from A Life After Layoff, and I just want to do a quick tutorial on how to add your resume to your LinkedIn profile. Now, if you're in an active job search, I highly recommend that you consider adding your resume to the front page of your LinkedIn profile. And the reason why I say that is, as a recruiter, it was always really nice to see candidates who took the initiative to add their resume to their profile. If I'm in an active search and I'm going through and finding your profile and I see your resume there, I can click on your resume and I can make a determination whether or not you would be a good fit for the role. So instead of me contacting you and discovering after the fact that you weren't a good fit, it actually saves that back and forth time. So essentially what you're doing is taking a step out of the process. Not only that, it also shows me as the recruiter that you are a serious job seeker and you're using the platform. So let's talk about how you actually add a resume to your profile. The first thing that you're going to want to do is log into your profile, and I recommend doing this through the desktop. There's probably a way to do it through your phone. I haven't checked that, but I'm sure it's not too difficult as well. As you log into LinkedIn, make sure that you're in your profile tab and not your home tab. So I'm actually looking at my profile in the back end. As you scroll down, there's a couple of different places that you can add it. The first one being this featured tab. The feature tab is designed to prominently display things that you're proud of. So it could be something that you want to highlight about your profile. It could be an article that you wrote, or maybe a project that you're involved in. And then for our case, that would be a great place to add your resume. The second place that you can upload a resume is actually into your job experience. And you might consider doing this if you've got different resumes for different types of work that you've done, or maybe that you want to put a resume and a portfolio piece inside of a job title. And so I'll show you how to do both of those. The first one being the featured. When you log in and you're on the back end in the edit mode, you're going to see a plus sign, and that actually allows you to add a new piece of content, or you can edit an existing one. Now you can see on my feature tab, I have an article that I wrote about a piece of content that I wrote that I wanted to share. So that's going to be what's currently set to featured. If you haven't added anything, it's just going to be a blank screen. So what you want to do is hit this plus button. And then it's going to bring down a pull down, and you're going to have options to put posts, articles, links, or media. Now, if you're adding portfolio pieces, say you're a graphic designer and you want to show off some portfolio pieces, you can actually add a link to an external website, or you can add in presentations and that sort of thing. So for our case, we're going to add in media. Chances are you probably have your resume in PDF or Word doc format, so both of those would be fine media types to add. So let's go and hit the plus button. Now it's going to pull up a pop-up, and you're going to go and find wherever you saved your resume. For me, I just downloaded it recently, so let's just go ahead and click on that. Now, as you click on it, your computer is going to start loading the media. So when you create your resume, what you want to do is make sure that the title and the description make sense from an employer perspective. So you want to make sure that you title it something reasonable, because people externally are going to be able to see that. So for my case, I probably don't want to label it sample resume, because an employer is going to see that it's a sample resume, so I would want to retitle it to something that makes sense. And then in the description below, you can also add a little descriptor about what exactly this resume is. So you can get creative with it if you want, but just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to put Brian's TA and recruiting resume. And you can see how it auto-populates and fills in kind of a preview. Now we're going to hit save, and voila, now you see the different piece of content. So now I've got two pieces of content on my featured. I can actually delete this one if I wanted to, and then just make this the main featured, my resume. So that's the first place that you can add it. The second area that you can add it in is down on your experience. Now say I wanted to add a resume into my current employer, my most recent employer. So you're also going to notice that you can add new content or edit existing content. In this case, since we want to add the resume to the most recent job, I'm going to go ahead and edit that job. So I'm going to click on the pencil icon. It's going to go in and edit it. So now we're going to scroll down to the very bottom, and we're going to hit this media upload. And again, I'm going to find my PDF of my resume, and the same thing. I'm going to change the title. And once that uploads, we are going to hit the apply button. Now you'll see it listed underneath there, and we're going to hit the save button. So there you go. Now you see the resume listed underneath that employer. So the reason why you might want to consider putting your resume under the employer versus in the featured tab is if you have a different resume that highlights different things for each employer. So say you have 2 different types of jobs that you're interested in, and maybe you have 2 different resumes, that's an opportunity to do that. In addition, you could also put in those portfolio pieces. So say with my current employer, I worked on a project that I was particularly proud of, or maybe I have a portfolio of work that I want to show. I can actually add those to the employment area. When a recruiter comes on and looks at my profile, they can actually see samples of my work right there. They don't have to dig for it. It's a really great way to sell yourself to a recruiter. So think about how you could use that strategically. If you are like most people, you probably have one main resume. So I would recommend for most people to put your resume in the featured section. And the reason being is that if you have multiple resumes, you could cloud up your employment message and what type of role you're trying to look for. You also want to make sure that it's featured. So when an employer logs into your profile and checks out your profile, they want to see that resume right then and there. So it's prominent and on the front page. That will help give you maximum visibility. So I would recommend keep your resume in the featured, and for the experience, unless you really have a compelling reason, I would just keep those to portfolio pieces that better sell each individual job that you've worked in. So that's essentially it. It's really not that difficult, and I think just a little tweak here and there, and you could really set yourself apart from the crowd. Again, you're looking for maximum visibility in your job search, and this is just a simple little trick in order to get you a little leg up on the competition. Hey, if you found value in this content, consider giving me a like because it helps other people in similar situations find the content that they need. Also consider subscribing because I've got a lot more content planned and you're not going to want to miss a single video. I also have a website called layoff-free.com. I'll leave a link in the description below. Consider jumping over there as well. I've got a whole bunch of free resources on how to get noticed by recruiters and how to land your dream job. Hey, I appreciate you watching, and I will talk to you on the next one.